I'm Father Robert Ballecer, the Digital Jesuit, host of This Week in Enterprise Tech on the TWiT TV network. I'm here in Orlando, Florida for Enterprise Connect 2016, and I'm sitting next to John Guillaume, the VP of Product Management at Comcast. John, thank you very much for speaking with us.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Now, of course, we don't need you to explain what Comcast is or what Comcast does, or do we? I mean, just a few months ago, there was a big announcement how Comcast is now serving the enterprise customer. What does that mean?
Well, that's right. We're real excited about the opportunity to go into a new market opportunity for us. You know, we started business services in 2006 and we cut our teeth on small businesses, and we've been very successful in doing that. And like all things in life, you mature and you get better at what you do, and we're looking for new opportunities and new growth opportunities, and the enterprise space presented itself. We felt like with what we've learned over the years, our network, our fiber assets, our access network that we have available, and the speeds and the unified communications platforms, some cloud services that we can bring to the table, we felt like we are set up to be able to be successful in the space. So we're real excited about it.
I have to ask, how do you differentiate that service? I mean, of course, there are SLAs, there is more consistent service, there's higher speed service available for enterprises, but it seems as if almost that your success of being the broadband provider works against you when you start pushing into the enterprise space, because people think of you as, no, I have that at home, I don't have that at the office. How have you overcome that, and how do you push yourself out as saying, no, really we do understand what it means to be an enterprise?
Sure. I think it's a fair question. Comcast and our Xfinity brand, on the residential side, is very well known. But it's important to know that business services has a unique set of employees. We have our own field technicians, we have our own center of excellence, we have our own care representation, and sales engineers. Those things that you would think about serving businesses and being able to serve enterprises. It's those assets that truly differentiate us. What is common, of course, is the investment that we get from the business as a whole is supporting our growth and ultimately more investment into the business. The ability to take advantage of the network that we've built. We serve over 20 million, nearly 25 million homes, but we also serve hundreds of thousands, over millions of businesses also, right? And those businesses can take advantage of that network that we invest in year over year. And if you look at just broadband growth in general, it's not too long ago where internet speeds were below 50 megabit. And I think the FCC just declared 25 megabit is now broadband, right? We've been providing 25 megabit services for over a decade, right? We have 250 megabit broadband services deployed in most of our network at this point. It's the exponential growth in speed and availability, and let's face it, our network is highly reliable. You can count on the speeds, and then you couple that though with our fiber asset. One thing that not everybody does realize is that we have the largest diverse network as compared to the phone companies in the country. It is a physically diverse network that we've built on our own, right? And that diversity and the ability to provide up to 10 gigabit Ethernet links over that network, and in some cases we've done 100 gigabit links, that makes us unique and differentiated in the marketplace, and that asset goes a long way in serving an enterprise.
I want to touch on something that you've mentioned when you're talking about growth, because once you move into the enterprise realm, you can no longer think of Comcast as just the pipe that connects you to the outside world. It's now a vital link of your infrastructure. So how has Comcast moved into that, especially since over the last 12 to 36 months, we've seen an explosion of everything as a service. We've seen an explosion of on-premise, off-premise, hybrid between cloud and premise solutions. Where does Comcast fit into that, and where would you like to see Comcast positioned in that as a service field in, say, a year?
Sure. Well, it's a great question. It's something that's inevitable and frankly unstoppable. The reality is, whether it be Comcast or even some of our competitors, we're all investing in our access networks, right? I talked about speeds getting better and faster, networks getting more and more reliable, and that's a certainty. That will just continue to happen. And when you have faster networks, faster access networks, and more reliable, just general broadband, over-the-top services are going to proliferate. It's inevitable. And the key for us is how do we benefit from that? And there's so much innovation happening at the show, right? Comcast isn't going to be at the center of all of that innovation, but there's certain things we think we can be good at and we want to invest in. Unified communications is an area where we think we can take some of our core assets and deliver a compelling unified communications platform for mid-sized businesses, larger businesses, even small business. But that being said, there's innovation happening around the periphery of that core application set, right? And whether it be things like Skype for Business or Slack, things like that, those are things that we aren't necessarily going to do as a business, but we need to embrace. And we embrace these things by what we would call third-party workflow integration and open APIs. In fact, one of the things we just enabled is a beta for our Business Voice Edge customers, which is our cloud-based PBX, is we've just enabled a public beta of some workflow integrations, including Office 365 integration with our unified communications platform. We've enabled Skype for Business, and we've also enabled Salesforce integration. And it's platforms like that nope, Comcast isn't going to be competing with Salesforce anytime soon, but they should be able to work harmoniously together, and that's the real opportunity where we can start taking our platform and other great platforms in the industry and mashing them up together.
We've been speaking with John Guillaume. He is the VP of Product Management at Comcast. John, thank you very much for speaking with us. If they wanted to find out more information about Comcast for the enterprise, about where Comcast is helping those who are deploying UC, where can they go?
Go to www.business.comcast.com. Thank you.
Thank you for spending your time with us. Thank you for explaining Comcast's vision for enterprise in the future. I'm Father Robert Ballecer, the Digital Jesuit, and we'll bring you more from Enterprise Connect 2016.